Good day, I am Sharms Espina, and this is PTV News Now. The country's weather forecasting agency PAGASA warned the public to expect warmer days ahead. According to PAGASA, El Niño may already be at its peak. In Metro Manila, a 36.5 degrees Celsius daytime temperature may be experienced and could reach over 40 degrees Celsius in northern Luzon. The Office of Civil Defense spokesperson Edgar Posadas reminded the public to drink lots of water to avoid dehydration. Around 41 provinces are either under dry conditions, a dry spell, and/or drought due to the El Niño phenomenon. In the meantime, U.S. President Joe Biden has joined TikTok in an effort to connect with younger voters. But while many users have welcomed the move, security experts and legislators have expressed disapproval amidst long-standing privacy concerns surrounding the use of the Chinese-owned app. VOA's Veronica Balderas Iglesias has more.
Joe Biden's presidential campaign account on TikTok garnered more than 90,000 followers in the first 2 days since joining on Super Bowl Sunday. The Chinese-owned social media app is a regular source of news for about a third of U.S. adults under 30, according to Pew Research. And the Biden campaign's move to get their political messaging across to that demographic doesn't come as a surprise to some analysts.
If you look at polling, there's been dramatic decreases in youth support for Biden compared to Trump. So this is, I think, one of their stronger tools to reach that group.
China-related security and surveillance concerns led the Biden administration to ban the use of the TikTok app on government-owned devices last year. The former head of U.S. Cyber Command outlined some of those concerns during a congressional hearing last March.
TikTok concerns me for a number of different reasons. One is the data that they have. Secondly is the algorithm and the control who has the algorithm. Third is the broad platform. It's not only the fact that you can influence something, but you can also, turn off the message as well.
Some lawmakers have questioned the Biden campaign's decision to join TikTok, including the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Democratic Senator Mark Warner.
I think that we still need to find a way to follow India, which is prohibited TikTok. So I'm a little worried about a mixed message.
Republican Senator Josh Hawley took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to criticize Biden for joining what he called a Chinese spy app, despite banning it on federal devices. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby had this to say during Monday's White House briefing.
There are still national security concerns about the use of TikTok on government devices, and there's been no change to our policy.
The Biden campaign states their presence on TikTok is independent from a review by the Interagency Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States that is weighing a nationwide ban of the app. For its part, the Chinese Foreign Ministry says there is no proof of foul play and condemns the moves to restrict the app. TikTok's CEO, Shou Chu, denies he or his company have any links to the Chinese Communist Party and has repeatedly told Congress that his company is improving the platform's security mechanisms.
Making sure that we're protecting and firewalling U.S. user data from unwanted foreign access.
The average TikTok user is not that worried, says UCLA professor Tim Growling.
I've had a student say this almost verbatim. There are over 1 billion users of TikTok. Why would they care about my data? What do I have that's at risk? And, in the aggregate, the answer is there's quite a bit of risk.
The Biden campaign affirms it is taking advanced safety precautions around the devices they use to post content on TikTok and plan to continue expanding their online influencer network. Veronica Balderas Iglesias, VOA News, Washington.
The White House confirmed that Russia is developing an anti-satellite weapon, but they stress it is not an urgent threat and urged Americans not to panic as lawmakers met behind closed doors to discuss the issue. VOA's Anita Powell has the story.
All eyes are on the skies after Washington confirmed that Russia, seen launching a rocket earlier this month, is working on technology that the White House says could violate a treaty banning weapons of mass destruction in space.
I can confirm that it is related to an anti-satellite capability that Russia is developing. I want to be clear about a couple of things right off the bat. First, this is not an active capability that's been deployed. And though Russia's pursuit of this particular capability is troubling, there is no immediate threat to anyone's safety. We are not talking about a weapon that can be used to attack human beings or cause physical destruction here on Earth.
Congress met Thursday for a closed-door briefing on the matter.
We all came away with a very strong impression that the administration is taking this very seriously and that the administration has a plan in place.
Pentagon officials said the U.S. Space Force is poised to defend. Analysts say the U.S. military is clear-eyed about the dangers above our heads.
Whereas in the past, space was a secondary priority for all of the other military services. Now it is the top priority for someone in the Pentagon, and they really are starting to move forward on this.
Ignition.
Many of our earthly activities, from global positioning systems that govern mass transportation, to military systems, to weather satellites, are controlled from space. Harrison said other countries are aware of this too, and have been developing their own military technology.
We use space for so many different things in the military that an adversary can take space away from us and deny us the ability to use those space systems. They would negate one of our biggest advantages in the U.S. military. So that's why other nations, like Russia and China in particular, have been developing these anti-satellite capabilities for years now.
Kirby, who said Russia may be violating the Outer Space Treaty with this act, said Washington's first move is diplomatic.
We plan to engage directly with the Russians about this, and as well as allies and partners.
Arms control experts note that the 1967 treaty doesn't specify consequences, but they say a violation would alarm other major powers.
This would affect the global economy, the society writ large. So China would be deeply concerned. India would be extremely concerned. Countries that Russia has better relationships with than they do with us. So I think there would be a stinging rebuke. That might be enough to encourage Russia to back down.
So what now? Watch this space. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.
This has been Sharms Espina. Stay informed, get ahead, and get the news right here on PTV.